Hello there. Let's talk about Tsotsi again with chapter 3 summary. So, in the last chapter, we saw that Tsotsi beat Boston to a bloody pulp. Tsotsi completely lost it. He lost it on Boston. And he actually wanted to kill Boston. That was his intention. If Butcher and the ARP did not pull Tsotsi off of Boston, he would have killed Boston. That was his intention. And this is all because Boston broke one of the cardinal rules by which Tsotsi lives, and that is to not question him, to not shine a light in his darkness. The reason for this is Tsotsi can't answer it. Tsotsi does not know who he is. He doesn't have an identity. All there is nothingness, a darkness, and that scares him. Tsotsi fears that nothingness, that darkness. So he doesn't want people prying and prodding. That's why it's a cardinal rule that he lives by, and Boston broke it. But now we see something interesting in this chapter. We start seeing the themes of guilt, shame, fear. We also see the glimmer of repentance and redemption starting to come through. So we now see Boston's words keep repeating themselves in Tsotsi's head. Boston had planted that seed of decency, that seed of conscience has been planted. Tsotsi is starting to feel. So these words kept echoing, and they mimic the rhythm of Tsotsi's running. And now he's running, and he's running fast, and he's trying to get away from Boston's words, and he's really running, trying to get it out of his head. People see him and they think he's mad, they think he's crazy, that he's lost it. But it's not like an unusual sight. People are quite used to people losing their minds there in the township and, running off and doing weird stuff. So they see this guy and they're like, okay, there's another mad one, and he runs, and he's trying to outrun Boston's words, but they're right there. They're in his head. That seed has been planted. Tsotsi has started to feel. You can see guilt, shame, fear. All of these themes now coming in. So Boston is in fact the catalyst to Tsotsi's change and character development. He is a big part of that. He is the catalyst. And what happens at the end of chapter 3 plays a major role in the novel and the story as a whole. But Boston, we must not discount him as being the catalyst for Tsotsi's change and, him starting to feel. So now he's got Boston's words in his head and he starts running out. So he runs close to the white suburb. Now remember that the black townships and the white suburbs were separated because this does play off in the 1950s during, the height of apartheid and stuff, with all the various nasty laws and stuff that were there. So you can't really go into that suburb because it's very well patrolled by police, okay? Making sure people don't get into the suburbs. There was a curfew. So after 6 o'clock, non-whites were not allowed to be on the street. So that was also being enforced. You look at like the apartheid laws and stuff. So he had to hide and maneuver. And then he ends up in blue gum trees, in the midst of these blue gum trees. Now Tsotsi is then his mind is still racing, but he's still got these thoughts, but it's starting to sort of simmer down. Then we start seeing that criminal nature come into play again. There's this lady that is running in. The thing is, we don't know this lady's name. We don't know her story. We don't know why she had this shoebox with her. There's no clear answer. Is it the product of abuse that led to her having that shoebox? What was she afraid of? Why was she running? And was she going to discard this baby? See, these are questions we are not quite sure of. We don't really know. We don't have the answer. But however it may be, she ends up in these blue gums. Tsotsi's criminal nature takes over again, and he pins it to the ground. So I'm sure, guessing on what the ARP and Butcher did to the lady at the tavern, we can kind of see where Tsotsi would have gone with this lady. We can kind of see what he would have done because he felt nothing, right? Yet, Boston's words. Then this lady stuffs the shoebox into his hands and she runs off. Now, what's interesting is later he says, if it wasn't for Boston's words and this baby that he saw in this box, he'd have run after that woman and he would have done what he wanted to do and maybe possibly even killed her. But now, at the end of chapter 3, that's the major point that we find where he gets this baby. This baby will lead to his redemption. It will lead to his change. It will lead to identity you can say retrieval and formation. Amazing character development will occur as a result of that baby. Now, what's interesting to note, if it was not for Boston's words and him starting to feel, he would have killed the baby. He would have killed the baby on the spot, yet he does not. So we start seeing he's starting to develop a conscience, albeit small, starting to develop a conscience. So in chapter 3, some of the major themes now come into play. And now the story is really catching on and getting adrift. Now we start seeing the main theme of this. We see identity. We start seeing redemption. So bear that in mind for chapter 3. It's one of the most important chapters of Tsotsi. If you understand chapter 3, you can nail a large part of Tsotsi, because everything will now build on this chapter and the events started by Boston in chapter 2.